Keeping it in the great state of Texas, the 10th ranked Miami Hurricanes will travel to SMU. This game will be 12 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. Miami played their first 7 games in the state of Florida, 6 home games and a road game at Florida State. So they are leaving the Sunshine State for the very first time, but they will leave 3 times in November. First time here, they'll go to Virginia Tech, they'll go to Pitt. So they've been at home a lot. Now they have to take that show on the road. So this game in Dallas is a non-negotiable step in maintaining their college football playoff operation, right? Week 8 loss to Louisville has their back against the wall a little bit. Their margin of error is gone. So they got to win, and they need to win impressively, I think, to continue to protect the narrative about the Hurricanes nationally. And on the other side, SMU, they're 5-3 overall, 3-1 in the ACC. They are battle tested, and the record is a little bit deceptive because they have won at Clemson and they have 3 single-digit losses. So they've been close. They just haven't been able to finish in a few different cases. The quarterback matchup's a great one. Carson Beck did have 4 interceptions in Miami's loss to Louisville, but he did bounce back and played clean game against Stanford against Kevin Jennings, who was held to a season low, just 171 passing yards in their loss at Wake Forest. And it was the first time this season that he failed to throw a touchdown pass. So both guys in the court of public opinion nationally trying to bounce back a little bit in this performance. Question number 1. Can Carson Beck get back on track against SMU's defense? Now, going to the game against Louisville, he was one of the Heisman Trophy favorites, and then the 4 picks, right? Now, this would look like it's a get-right recipe because SMU's defense has one of the strangest statistical profiles I've ever seen. I don't know if I've ever seen one that's this wild, all right? So hear me out. SMU gives up over 300 yards a game through the air. That is the second worst pass defense in the FBS. Okay? You heard that. 300 plus through the air, second worst in the FBS. But they have 25 sacks. That's top 10 in the FBS. They have 12 interceptions. That's the 4th most in the country. And they allow just 56% completion against them. That's top 15. So you can get them on some big plays, and they've given up a lot of big plays this year, but statistically, they're very disruptive and they force a lot of mistakes. Question number 2, can SMU's disruptive defensive front create problems for Miami's offensive line? Now, if you look at Miami's offensive line, they got some standouts, right? Like Maui Noah's amazing, Inez Cooper's amazing. It's one of the best in the entire ACC. And they'll face a very disruptive test this week against SMU's pass rush. Now, the pressure, they got depth along the defensive line. They have athleticism along the defensive line with Isaiah Smith and Terry Webb. These guys do a really good job. I mean, you can make a case that Isaiah Smith is one of the best pass rushers in the entire ACC. The guy's got 11 tackles for loss and 5 sacks this year, so he's excellent. You also have Cameron Robertson out there as well. He's a significant threat as well, even though you need to watch and make sure he's at 100%. So if the Miami offensive line neutralizes this pass rush, then Carson Beck will have a lot of time to methodically dissect one of the worst pass defenses in the country. But if SMU's front wins the battle, then they might force a couple panic throws, and they might force Carson Beck into making the occasional mistake that results in the Mustangs' hands. Question number 3, will Miami be able to run the football and control the clock? Now, Miami's core identity is all about power, right? Mark Fletcher is the bell cow, and the identity runs right into SMU's other strength. They are really good against the run. They allow less than 100 yards per game. So it looks like a strength-on-strength battle. So if Fletcher and Miami's ground game are ineffective, then the offensive burden falls right on the shoulders of Carson Beck. And that's exactly what SMU's defense is designed to do. They want to put the pressure on the quarterback, they want to affect the quarterback, and they want to force mistakes. But Miami's got to find some success on the ground to give themselves a massive advantage from a time of possession, game control strategy. Because controlling the clock in this game is imperative. Miami possesses the ball for nearly 33 minutes a game. That's top 11 in the country. SMU is one of the worst when it comes to time of possession. They have the ball for less than 27 minutes in the game. That's 129. So time of possession is a factor in this game when it comes to snap exposure. Question 4, will SMU's offense be able to create explosives? Look, I don't think SMU is going to be able to run the ball very well. They're rushing attack that is in the triple digits, and Miami has a top 10 unit against the run. So with the running game expected to be pretty neutralized, then SMU's offense comes down to the deep ball. And Kevin Jennings has been excellent pushing the ball down the field. He's got nearly 700 yards and 7 touchdowns on passes that travel 20 or more yards downfield. And their leading receiver, Romello Brinson, who, by the way, is a former Hurricane, he's a guy that could take over the game on deep balls if you let him. Now, you got to keep an eye on the defensive front for Miami in this game. Akeem Mesidor, his health is paramount. He's a cornerstone alongside Ruben Bain of this outrageously good pass rush. Now, he missed the game against Stanford with a lower body injury. Currently, he's questionable. So if he's out or limited, then the pass rush falls almost exclusively on Ruben Bain. So to have those two out there to balance each other out is really big. So SMU's big, reliable path to victory is creating explosives. And if you have a 100% healthy Akeem Mesidor, that'll be a lot tougher to create. If he's at less than 100%, then that could allow more time for Jennings to pick up some big plays through the air. It's also going to be really important for SMU to convert on third down. Because right now, question 5, can SMU stay on the field? SMU converts just 36% on third down. That's 105th. Miami gets off the field. They allow less than 30%. I'm going to take Miami in this game. Now, the line is a tough one. I don't like road chalk. I never have. All right. Road chalk makes me uncomfortable. But I think Carson Beck will play a smart game here. I don't think he'll be thrown into traffic. Don't be surprised if this game is a little close early, but at some point, I think Miami will enforce their will and take over the game and eventually pull away in the second half.